So we are now dealing with what we call composition transformations. We looked at sequences of transformations, but now we're going to work on the notation of what a composition is. So a composition transformation is when two or more transformations are combined to form a new transformation. And again, the result is called a composition transformation. So here's an example. It says the symbol for a composition transformation is an open circle. So this is how it would look. Here's what we have to be careful of. We read this from right to left. So the first thing we would do would be the reflection in the y equals x axis. So the way you would read this or write it in words would be a translation of x plus 1, y plus 5 after a reflection in the line y equals x. So we are doing the reflection in the line y equals x first. So again, it says here, this process must be done from right to left. So we're doing this first, this second. So let's take a look down here. If we don't do it in the proper order, things may change. So for example, here it's showing you what happens if you do it in the wrong order. So let's do it in the correct order first. So this is the correct way. We are reflecting, then translating. So if we were to first reflect across that line, y equals x, we would reflect triangle 1 across when we would get here. And then we would translate up 5 and over 1. So over 1, up 5 for all the points, over 1 and up 5, over 1 and up 5. So this is the correct way. Now this is the wrong way. This is if we didn't read it from right to left, as it says here. We would translate first and then reflect. So we get totally different answers. So here's our translation first and then our reflection. So with compositions, we always read, once again, from right to left. That is the key thing here. There's nothing really added as far as new transformations. So let's look at some practice problems here. It says starting with the point A being -4, -5, which single translation will produce the same image as the following sequence of translations? So we have a bunch of translations combined. So -4, 5. -4, -5 is my original. So let's put it through this first. -1, y plus 5. So if I minus 1, it goes to -5. And if I add 5, it goes to 0. Let's do the next one. +4, y plus 2. So we get negative, did I make a mistake there? Sorry about that. So if we do +4, we would get -1, and then +2 for the y, we would get -1, 2. Then the last would be -5, y minus 7. That would be -6, -5. So in reality, how did we get from -4 to -6? Well, all we did was subtract 2 and then do nothing to the y. After all those translations, this is what it would be as a single translation. So that would be choice, or there's no choice numbers, but this choice here. So then number 2, it says write a rule for the composition of a reflection in the x-axis following a translation of 7 units to the left and 3 units up. So remember, the first thing we do is always on the right side here. So this one would not be correct because we're doing a reflection first. So it has to be either one of these. So let's take a look. An x-axis reflection, we're doing the one on the right side first. And then it says following a translation of 7 units left and 3 units up. So 7 units left and 3 units up, that would be this one here, because if we take a look at the notation, this is +3 -7. This one is minus for both, so we have to make sure we're choosing the correct one. And now down here, we are doing a composition. So we're first reflecting over the y-axis here. So let's go ahead and do that. Reflect over the y. If I did that, I would get these points here now. So let's see how far we have to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There and there. So now here is, get back to that. Sorry about that, guys. Sometimes I tap the side pictures with my palm. So we're over here. There is after a reflection in the y-axis. So now we have u prime, L prime, we have F, or E prime, sorry, and then we have M prime here. So then our last step would be reflection over the y equals x axis. So that would be this axis here if we had to draw it. Goes up in between each one perfectly. So let's go ahead and count that. So if I had to do that, I would count down and over. Then I do the opposite. So there's M prime. This one was down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. So now I go down or over 5, down 1. So there is U prime. And same for L prime. It's 7 units away. So there it would be after a reflection in the y equals x axis. We would have point L over here and E over here. So the key thing here, guys, is to make sure you're doing the transformations in the right order. So this is my first one, and then my second one. We read right